Hey guys, welcome to the FIREcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Nix.
And it's been a little while, but we're going to start things off fresh. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about World of Tanks for a little bit. We're going to talk about Arc Age. And we're going to talk a little bit about Hawken too. So let's get right into it. Dan, tell me all your World of Tanks thoughts.
So I've been playing a lot of World of Tanks over the last couple of weeks. It's a really fun little arena game. And the reason I like it is if you have 5 minutes to play, you can squeeze in a battle or two. Or if you have a whole Sunday, you can just grind and play all day. It scales really well, unlike a lot of games where you have to say, okay, I need at least 2 hours. And if I have 3 hours, I'm going to need something else to do because it's only going to be 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, like there's just been times like we've jumped in and I'm still learning. I've only been playing for a couple days. So like I'll just do a couple games and be like, oh, this was fun. I'm going to go do something else. And then that's just as fun as when you and I get together and we can sit down and, play, what, did we play like 50 games today?
Yeah. Now, the maps is actually the main thing I want to talk about. One of the things that they really feature is your base is always in very poor defensive terrain. If you move to a good fighting position there, you might be in a good position, but there are 4 or 5 good positions that can shoot at you, and only 1 or 2 that your team can use to support you. So you're going to be outnumbered if you're just camping in your base, or people are going to be really exposed where they can just be blown apart. And this is something that a lot of new players struggle with, but it makes for a very fun game because it kind of creates a bowl where everyone flows into the middle.
Well, I just don't... I guess I haven't seen that yet. I see a lot of lanes. I see a lot of laning going on.
There are some lanes, and like the new map, Overlord, has really distinctly a sort of 5-lane system. I mean, city maps, of course, they have lanes. They're called roads.
Right.
But a lot of them, while there are zones you move through, there's a really good winter map. I can't remember the name of it, but like there's a lane at one end, and then there's a city at the other end, and the city has all of these cross streets and angled alleys, and you really have to pay attention. If you do, you can just smash people. And if you don't, you are fucked.
Yeah. It's just caused like a lot of issues for me because I've got a weak tank. And
Right.
This is actually another thing about Hawken that we'll talk about in a little bit too. But like the weak, low-end, stock, newbie stuff just does not hold up against someone who's been playing for a long time. And I respect that because you should be rewarded for having been playing for a long time. But there's no balance. I mean, in the videos I've posted, you've seen like I will just bounce shots. I will have direct hits that do nothing.
Right.
There's no point. There's nothing I can do.
Well, and they do that as well. I mean, everyone is going to have a lot of bounced shots. What you really learn eventually is where to aim and how to find weak spots and what the weak spots are of the tanks. Building up that knowledge is a huge difference, and building up a gun crew that can actually hit those spots as well.
Yeah, I know nothing about the gun crews, by the way. I know nothing about putting people in the vehicles. They just come with it, and I don't know. There's a lot to learn. I'd like to see like a comprehensive guide put up on YouTube.
Well, there are. I'm trying to find one for you that isn't an hour and a half long.
That would also be nice. Maybe we could make that. Maybe that could be a thing that we could do.
It is.
That could be fun.
But yeah, I mean, generally I like the maps. There's a couple that you're going to get into soon, like Fjords. Fjords is brilliant. There's a couple of choke points, but there are some really wide open places where you really get the feeling like you're in a tank battle. Fiery Salient can be really good. Ensk is a lane battle. Ensk is definitely. That's the one with the railroad tracks.
Right, yeah. All right, so rapid fire questions. Most favorite tank type and tank if you have one in mind.
Heavy. I love heavy tanks. I love, getting in there, brawling, getting up close and personal and smashing faces. I really like the KV-2. It is a Soviet heavy tank with a monstrous 152 millimeter cannon that can alpha pretty much anything at its tier if you penetrate their armor. And what it really rewards is a kind of thinking aggressive style where you're following this guy, you're stalking him, you rush around a corner, you put a 6-inch high explosive round into the side of his tank, and then he's screaming at you in chat because He has no idea what just happened.
Well, an aggressive thinking approach is good because I'm one of those things and you're one of those things. So if we could just like co-control the tank, we would be perfect. We'd be flawless.
And I am too aggressive in this game. I die a lot because I attack when I should probably be, sitting back and thinking.
You get me killed when we shouldn't be getting killed. Current least favorite aspect of World of Tanks. It could be a tank, it could be a map, it can be whatever. I don't care. Go.
The thing I have the most trouble with is the amount of seal clubbers in low-level games.
Seal clubbers.
Yeah, these are people that have like 30,000 games played, and they're in a tier 2 match with 100% crews and gold ammo, and they are just murdering people who have been playing this game for all of 30 seconds.
Right. I had that happen to me quite a bit.
Yes, and it really makes the game a challenge. One of the things they're talking about doing is adding skill matching to the game, which, like an ELO system.
Okay.
Which would be really nice,
That
is
would
all
be
I'm
very
saying.
Nice, yeah. That actually was going to be my next question. What's one thing you think the game is missing, and what's one thing that you think the game has just right?
The ELO system would be really nice. Having at least approximate skill matches. I don't think it has, one of the problems is there are people like the top player on the North American server, I think has like 80,000 games and a huge win rate. And you are just not going to match that guy.
True.
Nothing you do is ever going to get you caught up with that guy. So who's he going to face? How are you going to match with him? Is he just going to have to wait for the other guy with 60,000 games to log in?
That's right.
I don't know.
That's right.
As far as just right, I really like the mix between historical accuracy and gameplay balance. My favorite example of this is the Tiger tank. Everyone wants a Tiger tank until they get into it. So the Tiger is a tier 7 heavy, and in real life it was fighting T-34s and M4 Shermans, which are tier 5 tanks. So it was a real life seal clubber.
Okay.
And the crews were very good. They were very experienced. The problem is they rarely fight those tanks. Usually they're fighting, Soviet IS tanks and American T-29s and, late model British Churchills, which can handle it. Which makes it for a much more interesting game. Because if everyone got a Tiger and you just had, 15 on 15 Tiger matches, because it was the best tank ever, it would be boring.
It would be, yeah.
By putting it in a slightly ahistorical context, a seriously ahistorical context, the T-29 was never put into production. They make the game much better by putting it against things that actually would have, been an issue.
Well, that's cool, man. We will have to check back in on it, and we'll keep playing, and we'll do an update.
Yeah.
So, Mechs, are you there?
I am here. I just never played the game, so I don't really have any input or opinions on it.
That's okay. But you have played a good amount of ArcAge. Is this your first podcast that you've done with us?
Yes, it is.
Wow. I thought that you had done one with us before.
Never.
Oh, well.
You don't invite me on these fun adventures.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, welcome to the club.
Oh, yay.
Dan's going to put a welcome pin basket in the mail. Dan, you did that, right?
Wait, what?
Oh, my God. Well, we'll call somebody about getting something over to you.
I put something in the mail. I don't think welcome was really what you told me to go for.
Tell me about what it was like. You had played a good amount of it. You were up in the high end. Did you hit max level with it?
No, I was 7 levels off, and then they increased the level cap to 55, so I'm still at, 43, and haven't really had the chance to hit max level. I know about max level, a little bit of it.
Okay. See, the thing is, I think with a lot of MMOs right now, or a lot of MMOs historically, is that the end game, the max level, is a completely different game than the regular leveling part. Had you noticed that transition as you were going up through ArcAge?
Going through ArcAge, yes, because a lot of the times going through ArcAge, you're just trying to level, you're just trying to get, some amount of gold, money, some sort of in-game currency going. You're trying to get, a house and a farm and stuff, but you're mostly focused on the levels, because you're like, oh, I need to get to level 50 at the time was the max, so you need to get to level 50, get the health slot, weapons, and then they release a new tier, you need to get that, and it's like a progressionary thing. It's just like going through the game. I find in MMOs going through the game, getting to the max level is the best part, because it's like the one time you have something to do.
Yeah, it's like it has weight.
And it's something you can always do. You don't have to wait on 24 of your closest smelly friends.
Right. You don't have to wait for a giant raid group. You don't have to wait for like 30 people to jump into this dungeon together. You don't really have to deal with anything other than like the little mobs that you have to kill, and then you turn in the quest with the item, and that's just about it.
And look how hard Star Wars dove off a cliff the minute you hit the level cap.
A lot of games are like that, and it's suppressing.
I think that the amount of time it takes to create a really good raid is a lot more than the amount of time it takes to make a really good PvE quest. But your money is in keeping the people at max level happy, because they're the ones who play the game seriously. So they get into this chase, and a lot of them try to do it on the cheap with PvP, and then they get into trying to balance PvP, and they realize that it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Again, look at how much time Star Wars is wasted on this, and it's killing their game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at certain other games, well, you could look even back at ArcAge. There is more than just the PvP and PvE. There's like crafting, and there's like building a farm. You can pretty much do whatever you want in it, which is what kind of drew me to it in the beginning. But it's the fact that you have to get to the max level to do anything, because it's like if you go into a PvP zone for a quest, you're going to get completely killed, because there's just going to be this one person that's max level, max items, max everything, like ultra rare equipment, best stats, and it's just going to wipe you. And then you'll be like, oh, I can't do anything, I can't get this quest, which is one mistake that I thought, well, one of the many mistakes that ArcAge had was you would have to go through these PvP zones as like a level 30.
Right, yeah. Not the greatest idea.
Terrible. Or you would wait for the peacetime, and the peacetime is like 3 hours long. But to get to the peacetime, it takes like a whole day. So, it's not very rewarding.
Right. Yeah, it's just one of those weird things that happens. And ArcAge is interesting because they also have like the trade runs. And the trade runs can be very lucrative. And they're like a legitimately huge part of the game. And they're just like they're the most dangerous, one-sided things to do.
Were you ever around during the time when people figured out you could like run into other people because of the collision in the game, and you can knock them off airships, glide down, and then take their packs in a PvE zone?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh.
I hate this dog. I don't know why he's going.
He's just excited to be on a podcast. That's all.
Yeah, he's just so excited. But
he has
I
strong
had this
opinions
happen
about
to me.
things.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I had that whole, like, somebody stole my pack. I was in the east trying to go to Mahadevi for a trade run. Somebody pushes me off of the whatever they're called, the airships, and takes my pack, and then they're like, oh, give me 5 gold and you can have a pack. Like, you just killed me for my pack, and you waited for me to, like, respawn.
Damn, we might actually want to jump in on that. That sounds like Yvonne.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It is a great idea.
Sounds like griefing is what it sounds like.
And I've done it to people.
And that's something I was about to mention. I mean, the easiest way to have really great endgame content is to not make any and have your players be the endgame content,
right.
Which is what Eve has done, and it's one of the things that, at least at release, ArcAge was talking about doing, is having this really dynamic PvP setting where you could really enjoy a complex and variated PvP endgame.
Well, they do good with the PvP. I have to admit, like, the ship raids, oh my god, they're great. You have, like, 30 people going at each other on each side with giant ships and giant galleons, and there's cannons going everywhere, and it's great. But you have to get the server to actually join in on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this is quite what it was advertised to be, but we're going to play it, and we're going to get some videos up, and we're going to do some streaming with it. So people will get to watch that, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun.
All right, so, Hawken.
So I just tried it today. My first time playing. I did a stream of it earlier, and it's really fun, and it's really, the graphics are awesome, and I'm in a mech again, and I get to shoot stuff and shoot other mechs, and like we played Mech Warrior, so mech games used to be a big thing,
Yes.
And Hawken is a free-to-play, like arena fighter. It's a meat grinder, essentially. You can do like 3 versus 3, 6 versus 6, deathmatch, assault. You just go in there and it's like, I was doing the team deathmatch because that's the only option that you have available to you, and it's like 40 kills. First team to 40 kills. That doesn't even take 10 minutes to get to. So people are just blowing each other up. And then you respawn and you get back in there. And they have like assault mechs, they have long range, they have heavies, they have support mechs that'll like heal other mechs, which is super cool. So they have all these different mechs that you can pick. But the problem is that you have to gain experience and gain coins to buy the new mechs. And the weapons, your health, your defense, your armor, that's all reliant on leveling up your mech. And leveling up your mech is not a fast process. And the matchmaking, as far as I've seen, isn't terrible. But, like I played today, and I have like a stock level 1 newbie mech that does nothing efficiently. He shoots the guns and uses the jetpacks. Right? That's what it does.
I was watching your stream, and I saw you get to like level 2, but during that time to get there, you're just getting blown up.
Yeah, I was just...
Like, constantly.
What did I say it was? They were tickle machines?
Yeah, tickle machines and like giggle rockets.
Giggle launchers. Yeah. Because, and you can tell, like if I run into another guy who's around my level, it's like a good fight. Like we duck around, we shoot each other, like health bars are going on.
Yep.
And like I had a couple of those and I was like, this is really fun. And then I run into like a bruiser or a destroyer who's like max level. And I shoot him and he just turns around and looks at me and I'm like, hi.
Run away.
Yeah.
Back to the respawn point.
Because I'm not doing anything to him. Like it is in World of Tanks, where if I shoot a T6, it just bounces.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just dominate me. But so the people who have been playing for a while, like they have the advantage. But even with that going on, and I know that Nix, you could probably see even during the stream, like it's so fast and active, and they're very fast moving that you don't feel like nailed down. I snuck up on like a group of people who were chasing a guy, killed one of the mechs, and then one of the other mechs snuck up on me and killed me. And it's just one of those super cool things. It's a fast game. It's a fast respawn. You get into the action. So I might do more of that because it was really, really, really fun.
Even with, I just ran the tutorial of this after you told me about it, and even with just the tutorial, I was having fun with just the, computer-based enemies.
Yeah.
Like, dodging them, dodging their rockets, dodging their guns, and then, like, waiting for them to respawn and healing really fast, and then getting shot at while healing. It was pretty fun.
Yes. Yeah, it was just sweet. And then they work in, like, the classic cool stuff. So one of them, and they do, So I've got my Predator, which is the only thing that I can play, but you can test drive other mechs.
Yeah.
And you don't get experience for them, but like you can pick a different one, and they cycle through them. So I have my assault mech that does nothing, the tickle machine and the giggle launcher. That's what it comes with. Actually, Dan, I was wondering if you could get out there and spray paint a big clown face on it.
I'll get right on that.
I just feel like that would be a
maybe
better
a
decal.
butterfly.
Yeah. Give it some little wings, like the Bumblebee from that one music video from forever ago. But I could also test like this missile platform that was beast mode, and this Predator platform that had stealth. And,
that sounds cool.
Yeah, and so I mean, using your jets or firing takes you out of stealth, but there was a point when the enemies had a unified line across this one row. And they were just wasting people that came by. And I was able to stealth and got behind them and took out 2 of their mechs, and it messed up the whole line. It was one of those moments where I was like, yay, this is useful.
Yay, I did something correctly.
Oh,
I didn't die.
It was.
This was exciting. I'm sad that it's over now.
I need to play more games so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes, you
I
do.
just know what goes into making a good game. That's about it.
Well, that puts you ahead of most most game developers, as it turns out.
It's true, because even they don't know, apparently.
Apparently. I'm barely gonna know.
So this was a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll be doing more of these more often. Keep checking on the WordPress at digital.flash.fire.wordpress.com. We have a Twitch stream that we do. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Twitter probably at some point once I get up to...
Look for the links at the bottom.
Yeah. Many links. Click all the links, by the way. And then for all of us here, I'm Matt.
And I'm Nix.
And I'm Dan. And remember, don't stand in the fire.
It's an Elrond.